So I've been making knives for over 30 years, obviously part-time, and I often wonder why I can't be a successful knife maker. And I'm successful at some other stuff, so I guess it's not that big a deal. But one of the problems I might have is that when people ask me what kind of knife to get, I almost always tell them to go get some cheap kitchen knife, make yourself a scabbard or a sheath, and work with that. Figure out what you want. So I guess I probably lose a lot of sales that way, you know, because really, sure, I can make it with better steel, but do you want to pay that much for better steel and custom heat treatments and stuff like that? And I don't carry my own knives. I can't afford them. I'm expensive. So here's an example of, my wife put this knife into the relationship. I reground this really thin. Let's see if we can bend that there. With the right light, it bends pretty easily over my thumb. So I reground it thin, made this beast of a sheath, and I just stick that in my pocket, and this goes on the outside of my pocket, or sometimes it'll go through my belt. Whatever. So my day job is landscaping. I need to cut stuff like landscape fabric and sod. So one day I actually broke this just pulling on it too hard. With the handle just kind of came apart in my hand and broke up. So now it has a new Ipe handle. I didn't do anything fancy here. Just put a new handle on it and then, reground it, epoxied on. Nothing fancy. But this does the job. You don't need really like something fancy. You need something that's tough. You need something that's easy to sharpen. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. If you got like a dollar store, the thickest dollar store, we've got Dollarama in Canada, so you can have like a $4 or $5 knife, and find a file because you can sharpen it with a file. You're probably, you're gonna still just have a cheap knife, but you're going to be able to easily sharpen it after damage, and it will get damaged if you use it. So softer steels are better for that. Having a beautiful super hard steel that gets a big nick in it because it hits a piece of quartz, well, that's just, to me, that's not worth it. Right? So knives I have that are difficult to repair, they just don't come outside that much. So is a $5 knife, is that 1/20th the quality of a $100 knife? Is it 1/200th the quality of a $1,000 knife? If you want it to cut stuff and be able to resharpen it after, what's the big deal? If you want something, I've had people at my table at shows, they just fall in love with something and they can't leave without it. And that's totally cool. I think that's more rewarding for me. And those are my real sales. Those are the ones I feel good about. But if somebody doesn't understand that a $5 knife will do the job, I'm okay with letting them know, even if it costs me a sale. I mean, I don't want to rip anybody off. And I'm not suggesting anybody else is ripping them off. I'm just not a salesman. And if you like my stuff, buy it. It's great. That's wonderful. But do you need my stuff? I doubt it. Unless you need it because you like the way it looks or the way it feels or whatever. So for those of you on a budget, just go get the sturdiest knife you can find that can be sharpened with a file or with basic sharpening stuff. Like a lot of times, like at work, I might sharpen, 6-7 times a day. I sharpen my Olfa knives. I sharpen them on granite because that's what's there. I'm not going to walk around, look for my spare blades, and what do I do with the old blade after I take it out? You just do a quick sharpen. It doesn't have to be razor sharp to cut sod or landscape fabric or twine or corrugated pipe. You're just cutting stuff. It's okay. Anyway, thanks.